Sorry, Scott.
That's all right. That's what that's for. As you know. All right, everybody. Hey, everybody. So welcome to the May meeting of the Colorado Springs Astronomical Society. My name is Scott Donnell. I'm the president. And with me, we have Mr. James Burham, our vice president, Fred Goodman, secretary, Tom DeClue. I saw you walking here just a moment ago. There you go, Tom. Out of my peripheral vision. Tom DeClue's our treasurer. Doug Cook. I don't see Doug Cook out. He is our member at large, not present tonight. And then we have two of our trustees seated way in the back. Matt Russell, raise your hand, Matt, and then Floyd Glick. Thank you very much. So we always like to start off with a, good, thank you. This is, yeah. Right, okay, so we always like to start off with welcoming new visitors and new members. So if you have, if you're visiting us for the first time, please raise your hand. Okay. 3, right? 1, 2, 3. That count, right? Okay, I'm just trying to count. And then any new members that have been a member of for just recently. Okay, great. So I'd like to take off. Let's start with you, sir. Sir, stand up, tell us a little about yourself and your interest in astronomy.
So my name is Brian Blair. Been doing astronomy since I was a kid. I've been doing astrophotography for about 24 years. I have a little observatory out in Black Forest that I use for astrophotography, and that's kind of my passion.
So just curious, whereabouts in Black Forest, roughly?
Hodgen and Bulmer, kind of in that area.
Yeah, there's a few of us that live just a stone's throw from here. So, yes, your turn.
Jack Wallace. I did it long time. I belonged to the last fall. I saw you in person and you were.
Oh, excellent. Well, and is this the first meeting you've been to? Because so it's the first meeting. Well, welcome. And yes, sir.
I'm Phil Brown. I'm up here. I live up here, but actually teach in football, and I have an observatory down there that I run. It's got a 22-inch castle right there. Nice observatory.
Now, I remember you when your last paper planning for the solar class.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
So now, so you joined up here.
Well, yeah, I got here for the first time. If I like it, I enjoy it.
Well, we hope you like it. If you don't like it, it's my job. You let me know.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, all right. Anyone else? New members, visitors? Yes.
Not exactly new. I used to belong.
Well, let's sit down. Stand up. Tell us. Go ahead. Tell us who you are.
Peter Wallace.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right. If there's no one else, then I would like to. Are you a new member, visitor?
Me? Yeah, no, they've been here like a year.
You're now. This is one of these times. See, that's the risk that I run when I do check if I don't recognize or sometimes I get the I've been a member for 20 years out here. Well, anyway. Okay, so with that, I will segue into Dave Warner presenting tonight's edition of What's Up in the Night Sky.
Anybody else need to sign in? Got the sign in roster here. Okay, and then
Lights up, Dave.
oh yeah, I suppose. I'm actually going to cover 2 months. I'm gonna cover 2 months because we're not going to be here for we're going to be at a star party next month. That's our weekly our monthly meeting. Is
Not just any star party.
the best star party in the whole country, not the world. Probably not the States.
Bruce will have his chance to talk about
So
it.
we'll have a chance. So what we got right now is coming up, we have Jupiter transits, and it's all messed up. I don't know why. We'll find out. But for a few weeks, Io Europa again and be passing between us and Jupiter. So it creates some shadows across the shadows pass across the disk of Jupiter, as well as the little planets going front. It's really cool to come and look through your telescope, not just the double transits, but the individual transits as well. But there are a number of the double transits. Unfortunately, that something happened with the slides. Maybe it's because I'm using the new version of PowerPoint. I have to work on that. What you can do is there's a website. You can look up, Jupiter moons JavaScript, or Sky Telescope has one. You can put in the evening that we got finally a clear sky, and you can say, oh, is there going to be any transits tonight that I'm observing? And you can look and see. But there is actually about 6 or 7 that are during the nighttime, for Colorado Springs that I wrote down. So it doesn't look like they translated again on this slide. So let's go to the next slide here. Now, what else is there to see in June? A couple of things with Venus. We got Venus at its greatest elongation west on the 2nd of June. Dichotomy, which is that period when it's half disk shape. It's you look through your telescope and it's half of it's lit, half of it's dark. That's dichotomy. We talked about that a couple of meetings ago about what dichotomy is. And Venus and Uranus is going to be 2 degrees apart on the 2nd of June. So a bunch of different events happening in just a couple of days. And then, of course, we have Saturn finally is coming up in the night sky. It'll be available for us to look at star parties. Saturn's at its opposition, so it'll be rising right at sunset, and then setting right as the sun rises in the morning. So it's 75 light minutes away. It's a little over 9 AUs in distance from the sun, and with a magnitude of 0, the same as Vega. Its rings are at its maximum extent this year, which angle on looking at those rings. We got a nice view of its rings, a whole 42 arc seconds of arc, where the planet's only 18. So good time. It's a good year. Though Saturn is at its southern extent because of how things work, it's way far to the south. It's still a beautiful planet to take a look at. Saturday night at a star party, we waited around until it could rise above the trees at Fox Run Regional Park, and we finally got our view of Saturn and enjoyed that. So, and then on June 16th, Neptune's only a little more than half a degree away from the moon. So, a good opportunity to go find that planet Neptune. If you've never seen it through a telescope or binoculars, you can go see that. Next slide, please. Other things in June, July. On June 21st, we have the summer solstice. I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. July 1st, we have the moon and Jupiter within 2 degrees. Asteroid Juno is at opposition on July 2nd, so a great time to go look for that asteroid if you're not done any asteroid searching. And then the moon and Neptune are going to be close at, again, 42 minutes apart on July 13th. Now, summer solstice, most people know what summer solstice is. It's that time that, we know it from, it's the time that we get the maximum amount of daylight, that for astronomers. But it's also that period of time we get the sun. It's at the highest point in the sky. One of the interesting things, a lot of people don't know when you look on the globe of the Earth that there's the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And it's at 23.5 degrees off of the equator. North is the Tropic of Cancer. That's the point where if you were on the Tropic of Cancer, the moon would be going straight over at 90 degrees over the top of your head and then back down.
The sun.
The sun. Sorry, on the northern extent. What did I say? The moon.
You said the moon.
I've been doing lots of lunar and solar eclipse teaching lately, so I get messed up. So Tropic of Cancer. Well, what happened about 200 BC is a Greek astronomer, Aristophanes, if I said that name right. He figured out that in an Egyptian town that's right on that 23.5 degrees, when you look down a well, you can see all the way down the hole because on summer solstice, it's straight up overhead and shooting down. And he went and he measured it there, and he had somebody else 5,000 inches away, whatever distance that was, 500 miles, something like that. And he went and they measured the angle of the shadow, and it was 7 degrees, and they figured out 200 BC, they figured out that there was a difference in the angle of the sun, and that proved that we have a spherical, not a flat Earth. So summer solstice is a significant time in the season. From then on, we get more and more night to enjoy our night skies. So June 21st. Next slide, please. Some of the key deep space objects to observe. We have lots of globular clusters at this time. We have M13, M12, M10. I'm not going to go into where all these ones are, but go look them up in your star atlases and go look for these beautiful ones. Of course, M13 is one of my personal favorites in Hercules. We looked at that Saturday night and always love when it's up in the sky to be able to look in that. M4 also looked at that Saturday night over there in Scorpius, M5, M62, M92, NGC 6388, M22, and M55. So there was another one, but it was in the southern skies. We can't see it, so I took that one. So open clusters, we have several open clusters as well that are good opportunities for us to look at, and of course galaxies. There's a ton of other stuff. We're getting into the season now. We're right on the edge of where the Milky Way galaxy is starting to rise up in the sky. There'll be lots of really wonderful things for us to see at Rocky Mountain Star Stare. So make sure to register, get there, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. Next slide, please. So just quickly, here's a capture. This is right now, last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. These are the different objects and what we can see in the night sky. Translate that to changing the time. This is the wonderful things that will be up in the night sky in the next 2 months for us to go look at in these different constellations. So that's all I have, I think, for this month and what's up in the night sky. So thank you very much.
It's 6.8 right now.
Okay, Comet Johnson. Where's Comet Johnson at?
Yes.
Okay.
It's right about the middle right now, and it should peak just about our assessment.
Awesome. Awesome. So that'll be definitely again right in the middle here.
Yeah.
So you have a good target for you to go. Challenge for you to look for that comet.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, well, it's sorry.
All right, weather observer reports. Get better and better every time. Fantastic. So that kind of leads us into observer reports. No, the weather hasn't been that great. There've been a couple of good nights since our last meeting. So Tristan, you can share those right there.
We need more chairs.
Okay, do you want chairs? Share more. Share more. All right. So, observer reports. Who would like to report on things that you've seen recently in the night sky? Floyd.
This morning I saw Venus and the crescent moon. This is before sunset, so Uranus above the moon. I didn't see Mercury.
Very good.
Well,
I saw Saturn.
yeah, too quick. And then I get all my observing when I go do outreach. So mine are 2 outreach quick stories. One is Horizon Middle School. We went out there top of down on my side of town, off of Peterson Boulevard, Constitution, Pullman Park. And we didn't really have a great turnout there, but it was a great turnout in the sky. We had nice, beautiful, clear skies, and I had not seen a better view of Jupiter and a great red spot. And we also had, at that time, we had a shadow of audio going across the disk of Jupiter. So we were able to see that. And the people that did turn out, we were able to show just a phenomenal view of Jupiter and its great red spot. I've never seen it that crisp and that clear. Then the following week, we were at 2 Saturdays ago. We were at Sky High Ranch out of Woodland Park on 67. for Girl Scouts, and we had about 210 young ladies and their parents, and we had really wonderful, nice guys. We saw a lot of stuff at M51, Whirlpool Galaxy. You can really see the spirals of the galaxy. The kids got to see a whole bunch of different. That was kind of the one that stood out to me, was seeing the spiral rings of Whirlpool Galaxy. Was awesome.
I'll let my own quick one, and I think it was just really okay. So mine is that I tracked down Margaret Star, which is the nearest star to our sun, visible in our atmosphere. So you guys, and it's like 90 feet high. It's reasonably bright. So just kind of interesting that I tracked down where it is anyway. So anyway, yeah, you had something you wanted to show us.
Well, my name is Matt Russell, and 2 months ago, I gave a presentation on processing Hubble photographs. Anybody that knows me knows I'm an astrophotographer for a hobby, and so I've been having problems with my mount. So I decided to take my gander at some of these Hubble images. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So this is M72. I went to the Hubble site, trying to find an easy cluster to try to process. So this is the first one that I dealt with. And M72 here, and if you look up in the left corner, there's a couple galaxies there that are showing up. There's also something down in the lower right. You can see that the resolution is quite impressive with these images. Go to the next slide. So then what I did is I decided I was going to take some color swaths off of some of this data. And so this is one of the old cameras that Hubble had on it. You have the standard stair step mechanism. Now, the only thing I really don't like about these particular images, and once you see a larger shot, you'll be able to see it. The middle stair is actually a planetary camera. So it has a different resolution and a different kind of bandpass that the rest of the image has. So this is actually a grab bag. So what I did is I downloaded, I found some narrowband filtered images of sulfur, oxygen, and hydrogen alpha. What I did is I combined those images together and put them into your standard RGB template, combined them, and that's what you got on the right side. And then what I did is I combined them all together to create more or less a synthetic luminescent image. So go ahead and go to the next screen. So that is part of the crab nebula there. And if you look in the middle of that middle stair, you can actually see. I could have gotten rid of all those lines. And if you look over to the right and down, you can actually see where that camera is. And you can see little differences in the resolution. So I left that in there intentionally just so you can see that. So that is the combined image, the luminescent and the RGB combined together. I'm going to go to the next frame. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to try to find some really cool object. So I found this image here. This is a portion of M51. Now, this is their newer camera, the wide field camera 3, which was the resolution is unbelievable. But I found some interesting things about it. You see that huge black line in the middle? This camera has this big black line in it for some reason. So I'm going to go to the next frame. I've got another one of M51. Go to the next frame. I found a couple more. Okay. And I promised myself that I got involved with good days that I wasn't going to stitch together a mosaic. Because it take forever, and it just I couldn't help different things. I registered them in a CCD stack, which is a program that I use for my own images. Basically, what it does is it lines up all the stars with one another, so that when I move each individual frame around in Photoshop, it's really easy to kind of just override them right over the top of each other. But it's a basic curve adjustments so that it kind of blended together kind of nicely. But still, you have the edges of the frames to fix. You can see the edges of the frame. There's 4 frames here. You have those big black lines. So what I use is in Photoshop, there's quite a few tools you can use. I use the healing brush tool, the clone stamp tool, cursed levels, brightness and saturation adjustments to kind of blend them together really nicely. So go ahead and go to the next frame. So here we go. We're getting a little better here, but if you look at the middle, the core of this galaxy, you still see that big edge. There's the edge there, and it's all kind of washed out. As I push the histogram kind of hard on the outside edges to get this image. So what you do in this case, like any imager would do, or a lot of imagers do it, like for bright objects that have bright centers. M51 is a good example. The Andromeda Galaxy is another good one. Another one that typically requires secondary processing or a second image set is M42, the Orion Nebula. Because that center area, if you look at all my photographs, everybody wants to see the big, like these that kind of come out. But the issue is that when you do that, you can't see the trapezium, you can't see any detail in the middle. So I decided to go back and process this core all by itself. That's going to go to the next frame. So that's kind of what I came up with once I processed the core itself. So then what you do is you kind of cut it out and place it over the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter which one you cut out. And then you just blend it all together to come up with your final image. So go ahead and go to the next frame, and this is the final shot.
Oh, yeah.
So that's that.
Well, I think that deserves that. Watch your eyes. Seats over on this side. Plenty of seats over on this side. Okay. August report. Lee Warner.
All right. Well, first of all, for the this last month, I think we did over 1,100 total people reached. So we did almost a third of our total outreach for the year last month. I think we're up at a little over 3,000 total people for the year so far. So if we put the calendar up, if you can't see. What I have coming up, as I mentioned, we did a couple of schools. Saturday was James Irwin School at Fox Run. Had about 15 or 20 people out there for that. Not with the high schools, it's a hit and miss on how much interest you're going to have from the kids. Horizon Middle School, we had just one family of 3 kids and a teacher and a friend, so just 5. But we still got some great service done anyway. But we did Garden of the Gods, I think. I don't know that we mentioned that. And it was cloudy and it had 350 people. Garden of the Gods. A cloudy night. It was just phenomenal. The people that came, they were cool with it. It was being cloudy, and they sat down on the sidewalk and the stairs and just was waiting for it to see if the clouds would break and we could see Jupiter and the moon and what was up there. And it was just a real it was a nice warm night. So everybody was just kind of chatting with each other and having a good time. We pointed our telescopes at Kissing Camels and the donut shop on top of Pikes Peak, and gave out a ton of different flyers and asked people to come and join our club and come see what we do and come find out what some of the great speakers that we have at our meetings and things like that. So just on and on. We just had the last couple of 3 weeks or so. We've had a great time with the outreach, with a great turnout. As I mentioned, the Girl Scouts 210 some people. Used comics, we had 110 or 120 people from used comics doing a solar observing event.
Most of them in costume.
Most of them in costume, which is awesome. And then that night we did a private start party for up at the Cheyenne Mountain Lodge. And I had about, I forget how many, I had 200 or 150 people there. So lots of people got to see great objects. Well, what we have coming up, unfortunately, we really, missed the mark on all our public start parties so far this year, just how the weather happens. But we're going to keep trying, and we have one coming up just in a couple of weeks. On the 3rd of June is our monthly start party from 8:30 to 11 p.m. at Fountain Creek Regional Park. That's off the Duckwood Road. I have another start party. I wouldn't have scheduled it if I realized it was Memorial Day weekend, but I'm going to take care of that. It's called the Rainbow Order of Girls. It's a women's empowerment type organization. They asked us to come out for they're going through some initiation, coordination thing, and the young lady asked for a start party. So I'll come out with my color. We'll show you the stars. If anybody else wants to come and help out, I'm more than happy to have it. We're expecting about 30 people to that event, something like that. So right now it's about 30 for that. But we'll see. We never know. So let's go on into June and see what we have for June. We got a lot going on in June. Down starting on the 12th to the 18th, I want to talk about that Garden of the Gods. Some of this is not about, I got it on the schedule, but I want to tell you about it. First of all, on the 12th, we're back like this at Garden of the Gods. They said 350 people, we should be selling hot dogs at our starter party, and so we won't know. We'll find out on the 12th of June if we're going to have even more of a festival type atmosphere showing.
They were talking with Elizabeth yesterday. They are psyched about that one, and the event's continuing to roll. They're getting feedback. They need more scopes.
Absolutely. We can use all the help we can get. We're going to have 350 people out there. Not only could we use help with scopes, but even if you don't have a telescope, but have some knowledge on, how to help somebody set up a telescope, if you want to come out and set up your telescope, we're going to have at least one person out there coming around and helping. There's going to be people out there that will bring their telescopes in. Hey, help me set this up. Help me with my telescope. So we're going to do that. That's something we're going to need. But if we're going to have one of our astronomers who's going to have a telescope, we need more telescopes to help us out. So please do it if you can on it.
Visitor center.
Yeah. All the regions.
Right in front.
Yeah.
That's our front. Last side.
So it's not in the front. It's in the, yeah, we have this thing, as some of the other guys like Al and Jim, we have this thing called big rocks that are in our way if we go into the park. So we set up where the RVs and the buses park, they give that spot to us for setting up our telescopes, and that's okay. I mean, the lights aren't too bad. We're really under control. We're working on getting those lights turned off for us to send time. So we have that evening start party on the 12th of June at 8:30 to 10 p.m. Then I want to talk about the 14th through the 18th. We have a special guest coming to RMSS. Roger Kennedy is going to be coming and talking about his solar outreach. He said, Timmy Telescope. If you look up Timmy Telescope on the internet, you'll see him. He's out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's the Albuquerque Astronomical Society. And he actually set this up about 6 months ago. We Garden of the Gods. And he's going to be at Garden of the Gods doing his setup of solar observing and all the different activities that he has. He's going to be there from the 14th to the 18th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. So a chance to get your solar glasses if you don't have them. They'll have the calcium telescopes, AJ telescopes, as well as white light telescopes, and different activities for the kids to do, all at the Garden of the Gods Visitor Center. If anybody doesn't work during the daytime and can go out and support that, please do. But by no means, this is a collaboration that we're doing between our club and Mr. Kennedy. And then I'm going to be supporting where I can on the 17th and the 18th. Those are weekend days, so if you can come out and support those days as well, appreciate all the help. He's going to be at RMSS doing the same sort of thing for us at RMSF. So he was in the area. He sets these things up well since he's coming in the area. He will go to different places and then back down. We'll see him again in October for the UCCS Full Science Festival. He'll be there for doing that with us as well. So then we also have Mueller State Park called me up and said, hey, we want to set up star parties once a month with you guys again this year. It was great success last year. So we actually have one for June, one for July, and one for August up at the Mueller State Park, also at their visitor center. And those are nice trucks, guys, and they get a lot of responsiveness. And the first one is just a regular nighttime star party, and the one in July will be a quick little talk about I think it's July when we talk solar eclipse stuff, and then do the nighttime star party. So if we can go quickly into July, since we won't be here, so I can cover with July. July's not as heavy of a month set up so far. I'm going to focus on a lot of stuff coming up in August, so we're going to be busy regardless. We got the Green Box Arts Festival. That one gives us a little bit of income. We get a little money for showing up for that. So we'll need telescopes to go up to Green Mountain Falls. Some people live in the area up there, so we can use your help. 9 to 10:30, not very long, hour and a half. Go up there, set up our telescopes, and show the people this park. We have another private star party that will work out there for that on the 6th, and then we have our in-reach star party on the 15th of July. That in-reach star party, that's for us club members. That we're not going to invite the rest of the public in. That if you're a member of the club, that's it. Rama State Wildlife Area, a great place to go see nice star skies. Kind of right on about as good as going up the Florida, maybe not as cold. So we'll go up there, set up our telescopes. You need help setting up or using a telescope or figuring out how to use a star. Now, that's our opportunity for us to kind of work together as a club and get that knowledge and experience shared among people. You want to try out EAA, electronically assisted astronomy. You want to try it, maybe doing some astrophotography. Let's give it a shot out there and come out 8:30 to 11 on the 15th of July. Then on the 21st, Florida Fossil Beds National Monument Star Party, great place to go and observe up there. We can always use telescopes for that. And then there's that second star party that I mentioned in Mueller State Park, 8:30 to 10:30, just 2-hour events up there. And then we will have our next meeting. Now I can talk about the other ones following on the next meeting. Sure. We have money. I think when you add together all these times, you've got 90% of clients without $218. That's $430. But I mean, so it might be so that's because we get a amount of income from the RSS, but packages that are coming in. We also, of course, are spending it about as fast as it's coming in right now, just because we have a lot of expenses associated with RSS. Our big star expenses, that's the current budget balance.
So now we need to report Al would like to brief everyone on the status of the Star Meadows development. Oh, time's up. How many people here have never been to Star Meadows or land down your car to pull a thing? Shame on you. Shame on you all. Are any of you planning on going to Rocky Mountain Star Fair? Actually, yes, we are. This last weekend was our annual
a secret. You cannot turn cotton glue loose with a chainsaw. These guys are maniacs.
No, we have to go. No, they were not yet. Oh, they're not that good yet.
No. But anyway, that road that heads to the south past the building there, everything cleaned up. Down that road, there's plenty of new opportunities for camping. Might be able to get a trailer back in there too. I don't know. Where'd you take your trailer? You went sort of touring around there.
Yeah, we had our way back there and decided one of the passages was a little narrow.
I don't think it is anymore.
No.
Okay. At the same time, another half of the crew worked inside and we built another room in the building. So now we have a storeroom to hide stuff. Old stuff, new stuff. And then we had hamburgers. Pretty much, thank you, Tom. And lots. Yeah. So, we're ready for Rocky Mountain Starship.
Very good. And so I'll add on to that. Go ahead. I'll add on to that Tom and I have been continuing to make our forward progress on the observatory project. And right now we have a tentative, let's say tentative 3 June to Saturday, drill and bore the concrete for the pier.
2 weeks.
And it'll be, a week and a half from today.
Week and a half.
So, but I say tentative just because there's some design details. Brian, you need to get up to your place, look at that pier mount again. And so there's a few things we have to kind of hash out on design. So, but that we're making some progress right now. If you out in the middle of the field is where we kind of staked out some red snow fence to indicate where we're going to.
I've got one thing that's very important. We didn't quite finish the room. We've got a little bit of wall board left to do, sheetrock, and we're going to tape it, sand it, paint it. And are you going to make it, Jim, do you think? I know the weather on Saturday is supposed to be our typical observing weather, clouds. You got to get up Friday. Okay, good. If anybody feels motivated and wants to join us, that'll make it work a little bit easier for us. I'll be there. Jim, you're over here. Declaration 22nd, June 3rd.
Well, this really, he's talking about this weekend.
Exactly.
Just more work. More work. And then the following weekend, tentatively, the drill and bore for the observatory pier. So I'll just watch the calendar for that. Right now, it's not even on the calendar, but forms, the announcements and forms, and posting the calendar for that. That takes us up to Brian Gibson for astrophotography special interest group.
I host at our home 1 week from tonight, our local astrophotography subgroup. And there's a lot of members, a lot of things going on. Last month we had, these are here in our local group, Darryl Hedges, and he was really excited in astrophotography as well. He ended up coming back on, he was up and never came down, and he wanted to show me his equipment. I wouldn't call him a beginner, but all his equipment is kind of like the ultimate beginner kind of equipment. And it was really nice. And he had some really great ideas. And so he's actually coming down from Denver next week. We'll meet at my home. If you want invite or information on that, please just give me your email, and I'll make sure you get that. But you have to get me your email. If I can read it when you write it, so just a little more detail. Anyway, he's going to come down and share what he has to bring his equipment. He uses, DSLR with actual track, but a lot of adaptations that greatly increase the efficiency and the ability of that equipment. And it was really, really interesting. In fact, he also said that he had two other cameras, I guess, scanning cameras that he used to use. You gotta know if somebody wants it, he's gonna bring it down and sell it. I think we're halfway. Not halfway, we're probably what it's worth, I don't know. But if you're interested in photography in the beginning level, it would be a really good event to come to see. The 6:30 next Tuesday at my home, so just give me your email and I'll make sure you get the contact information for that. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. Well, when you're celebrating, you're ready for a tour yet?
Well, it's not ready for recording yet, so this is getting there.
All right, Fred Goodman. Fred, anything with Steve first? No, we haven't already recorded everything. He's fine, so you're up. Okay. Well, speaking of observatories, two things. That interruption, which he should not have, was uncontracted. And we're just talking about some weather sealing. And I'm talking about contracting. So I call it Aries Observatory. If you want to know why, I'll tell you later. It's a split roll-off roof observatory. No, not that. This is going to be right now. So you can see here, right down the middle, it can move in either direction. Let's see if this works okay. This is the first view. Okay, there's the slide. Okay, slide. This is the remote, it's not working. So see slide. Thank you. Okay. Since I only have 10 minutes, we're going to go through really quickly, not fast forward, but quickly. Okay, my choices, as I mentioned, were between several options that most people are familiar with. You have domes, you have a single full roll-off roof, and I decided on a split roll-off roof with a modification to it where I could move full portions either direction that I want. Okay. That way I have these compromises. I didn't have to worry about trying to synchronize a dome to the movement of the telescope. Next. Preparations, as anybody does with stakes and strings and anything that's required to get things set up. My site's a little challenging, as I show here, because it slopes quite a bit towards my house, and so the leveling was rather interesting. Orienting to the north, another thing that everybody that builds an observatory has to do that here, and its mount has to be oriented properly to true north. So I used an application on the phone, I used a regular compass, but I double checked it by using Polaris. Everything is within a degree or two, and with plenty of motion on my mount, 5 degrees either way, no problem there. Next. And over here, this is the stakeout for the shed itself. And this large one here is where the tie-in, which you'll see shortly, for the trenching, for the electric and the control cable on the outside here. I also have, just outside the image, the stakes for the outrigger supports as well. Next. Okay, so the trench. I put this thing at a pretty good distance from my house because it's up the side of the hillside, the excellent view. I could block a bunch of my neighbor's lights that way. It's 25 feet long. There's 2 conduits, as it says. I have AC on one and 2 Ethernet cables on the other one. Next. Then, this is the layout for where the trench would go. Here's where the shed was, and you can get a rough idea of the distance to my house. Next. There we go. Trench warfare, as I said here. And the soil was nice and soft. It took only 45 minutes rather than what my friend thought would take up to an hour and a half or more to get it done. So that was quick. That was a blessing right there. Next. Okay, a couple of size augers were done. Most of them were done with a 12-inch. But when you're talking about the pier shop, one of the things we did is we used a much larger one for the base support that went deep into the ground. And then we put the 12-inch on top of that. How large is that? What I said, the base is about 18, if I remember right. So you stick an 18 Maybe I'll have to double check because the full 24, because I told them I wanted as much concrete in there as possible. So I think we have at the base, at the very bottom, 40 inches down, about roughly 24 inches around for that. So it's pretty stable. It's not going anywhere. And so he did all of that work and he did everything the same day. Right, next. Okay, this is where they're pulling wires, and I always get a kick out of watching them do it. And it just so happened they had their backs turned, so I kidded them about that. And I said, no wonder you have to use phones because you're not even looking at each other. So they kind of chuckled at that one. But the pulling was interesting because, like I said, that's a long way to pull. Right, next. Okay, over here, if you look carefully, there's a piece of plexiglass that I used to make a template for where the bolts were going to be into the concrete. So my particular mount and its peer uses 3 bolts, and they're 3/4 inch diameter bolts. So it's all nicely leveled and stabilized, and in a week or so, I should be able to get in there and start putting the mount in. All right, next. Okay, just a little beginning stages of the building itself here, and he did most of the work by himself.
I think my house is right down there.
Yes, we can actually see each other, and through the telescopes we can do one of those.
So you're the neighbor who's trying to block.
You can see the way the here is. There's the 12 inches, and then the heavier and larger diameter is all down there underground. Next. That gives you a little bit of idea of what the 12-inch portion is with bolts. And I've got, he overdid the gap, but that's okay, I'll fill it in. It's about a 1-inch gap all the way around. And everyone that has any knowledge about observatories knows that we have to do that so that when you're walking around, no vibrations will get to the pier itself. All right, next. Okay, 6-foot+ walls and a full-size door. The top of the walls is to block one other neighbor's light that he tends to think he is a used car dealership, but what can I say? You get some people like that. And because I'm a klutz, I wanted a full-size door, and when you see the trusses, you'll see that there's a cathedral type opening all the way down. So I have to be really, really bad at banging my head. Next. I'll do it anyway. All right, now, on the previous one, there were the beginning stages of some blue lambs going for the beams. Now you can see the full 24 feet on each side and 3 segments of blue lamb beams for stability. And he put them together and did a really good job of mounting them. And you can see the beginning stages of the outriggers for where we'll be able to get full slide off for the roof. Next. Okay, here are the purlins because we're using a flat metal roof with bridges, no sheathing. Cut the weight down quite a bit. And so he's doing just about all the construction by himself, except a little help for a couple of days from his son. Next. Okay, you can see the sheathing going up, so it's getting dressed. I call those the undergarments. Next. And now the sheathing is going up, and it's kind of like, it looks like the T111, but it's sturdy like hardy board is. So it's a rather unique siding he's got on there. So between the sheathing and that siding, it's a pretty solid structure. I've got everything on 16-inch centers, so even with the high winds that we have out there, beyond gale force, it's held quite well. Next. All right. This is the style I decided to go with out of many different rail structures. Again, it helps with the wind because it does protect itself from liftoff. Much later, I'll show you some latches that also provide additional liftoff prevention. And you can see they go under another set of blue lamp beams that they're attached to. So it's double stability. Here's the main blue lamp, and then here's the upper blue lamp. Next. You see the way now with just the skeleton part that you can move them open, which is any split roll-off roof gives you the full sky view as long as you don't get sucked out by the high wind, you're okay to go. But again, in a little bit, you'll see that they can move in either direction, which is a little bit different from most split roll-off roofs. All right, next. So there you go to the south, pardon me, this one's all all the way to the north. This one's all the way to the south. So you can see that I can go anywhere in between and form some of the advantage of a shutter on the dome by being able to move them in if it's a little bit windy, or open them all the way up for full sky. Next. Okay, this is obviously the south side full door. This black material is the EPDM membrane roofing for flat roofs. The stuff is very flexible but very durable, and it does a great job of helping seal off anything that wants to blow in from either side there. Right, next. Now you can see it closed here, and he's finished up the outriggers with a lot of supports. He added some more supports as time went on. Light color to reflect the summer heat. Right? And of course, you can see the siding is fairly light for the same purpose. Next. That's here. I used that kind of material in my old home at the bottom of the garage door, because when you don't have a very smooth garage floor, this stuff squeezes down and fills in gaps very nicely to keep bringing out. Well, that's what we're using here. When the two halves of the roof are sliding together, then with the latches and everything that we're going to do, that seals the two roofs together. Plus, you can see over the top, he's got special latches. Next. Okay, latches to pull the roofs together. One near the apex, two at opposite sides of the truss. I'll show you the pictures, as well as 4 vertical ones to hold them down. The additional weather sealing, which I'll show some other pictures in the future, are underneath the eaves to help wind from blowing anything up from underneath. And then additional EPDM, which seals off and sits in the ends of the rails. Next. All right, that's one of the latches here. This happens to be as close to the apex as I could and still have room. So I cut a slot through the 2x4s and put this hook screw through here, and then this latch, I can adjust it for any pressure I want. Next. Here's the other two sitting a little bit lower, more to the outside. So I have 3 of them holding the roof together with even matched pressure. We're very careful to make sure it was tight enough. And with all the rain we've had, it's been doing pretty well so far. Next. It is the vertical ones. You can see 2 here, and the close up of this one here. Those I ordered from Home Depot online, but nobody else had anything that good, and it's worked out really well. All right, next. And then there's some final notes. You can take a look at it here for yourself. There's more that has to be done right now. It's far from ready for prime time, because this is just the structure. The electrician's got some more to do. And when he is finished with his work, then I can get in and get it all set up for what I have to do for my scope and my mount and everything else. Just bring back in there. Let's go. I got a really small one. I have a Meade LX 208 inch. And it's on that mount I told you about last year, which is the mounting instruments, MI250 go to.
And where is the top of the scope? Where is the top of the scope compared to the wall that you have there?
Okay, it's at about 51, 52 inches to approximately the midpoint of the mount. And so that way, I get low enough if I want to, but I don't have to see that one neighbor's super bright light.
If you didn't like to mount, is that 4-quarter declination?
Well, this is an equatorial.
Okay.
I took the OTA off of the floor and put it on this.
Okay, so you're at that point. The declination. That's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe another way to ask the question is, how low an elevation angle can you go before you hit the wall? Kind of 10 degrees.
I can probably do 12, 15 easily. And then, there's nothing, I want to go much lower than that anyway.
The latches that you were showing,
Yeah.
are those, do you have to stand on something to reach those? Or?
Well, the only one I have to stand on something is the very top of the apex. The other two I can just reach up and grab it. And for the time being, while that concrete is there with the bolts, I can step on that and reach it with no problem. I have a step stool in there, and with
So the walls come out from the floor, they give you how much wall?
If I remember right, I think they were about 6'2", 6'3". Any other questions? Thank you. Give me yours. Yeah, the fees will be reasonable. Although for you, I'll jack them up a little bit.
So, one more item before we take a break. And then, also let you know, once we come back from break, in lieu of a presentation from the speaker that we normally have, we're going to devote the second half of the meeting time to getting updates on our MSS and our plans for the solar eclipse coming up in August. But this time, I would like to ask Mr. David Warner to step forward, please.
Got pretty lot.
What was it called?
I heard about it last month.
I think the rest more. Yeah. So, last month I mentioned that Dave Warner had qualified himself for the Astronomical League's Master Outreach Award. It's the Outreach Award Master level, and that's like there's 3 levels, and the Master level required hundreds of hours of time and numbers of people, and it was quite impressive when I looked at the spreadsheet to put my certification that he's done all this. It was like, wow, he went like way beyond what the requirements were for this. So just goes to show what a great person we have in Dave for as our new director. So I would like to present this award to Dave. This is award to David Warner of the College of Astronomy Study for outstanding accomplishments in introducing astronomy to others. The Astronomical League Outreach Award Master Level, Mr. Dave Warner.
Other people have, since last month, we've had other people submit their awards.
Oh, excellent as well. And there's also some things taped to the back of our board here. That's the pin. It's they go on. And then there's another one. I'll show you all the stuff that you get. So there you go.
All right, thank you.
Please return any of the visitor cards you filled out, and if the late arrivals have not had a chance to fill in the attendance sheet, please do it and return it to me back up here. Did I miss any visitors that arrived late?
Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll take a 15-minute break, reconvene at 7:45. When you hear that, that means we're going to resume. So,
Are you guys check for the
All right, welcome back. Okay, so we'd like to have more than just a 5-minute break, right, to be able to chat a bit more time, chat, and so on. So, before the break, I gave out I awarded the Master Outreach Award to Dave Warner. Well, there's an individual, Stephen White, sitting over here, that also has a couple of awards coming to him. So, Stephen, stand right here, please. So let me start with this one. This is the Astronomical League Outreach Award. I think it's basic level. And so he's like an up-and-coming Dave Warner, I guess. And I'd like to introduce you with. And there's a pin that goes with that. I believe that's in there. And then, because we feel we have to help you, Dave, whenever we can, so the Astronomical League's Lunar Program Certificate, awarded for observing 100 features on the moon using naked eye, binoculars, and a telescope. Now, if you used primarily binoculars, primarily telescope, and naked eye. And naked eye. Very good. Well, congratulations on this. So, congratulations, Stephen. We're very proud of your accomplishment. And just a quick mention to Master level. Just a few more Star Wars, right? Just a few more Star Wars. So, this is the summer. On our forums, we do have a couple of forums that I want to mention that are fairly recent. At the beginning of this year, we added a new forum for Astronomical League Awards, where if you're pursuing an Astronomical League Award, you can post on that forum. Makes it very helpful for me. You can post on that forum your progress, share information with other people, basically let other people know. Down in Central Group, their Astronomical League Serving Awards, right there. And that's the forum where you can post your progress toward your Astronomical League Award. The one right below it is actually new as of this last weekend, and that's the Member Observatories Forum. That's where Fred kind of kicked this off with his presentation. But this is where you can, there's already 3 topics, or 4 posts, and 3 topics posted for member observatories. So if you have an observatory, you'd like to share the information with others, that's the place to do. So with that, we're to the second half of our meeting, and I'd like to have each of our Jim Worm and Bruce Bookout, each of you are going to have about 20 minutes. So I'm going to start with Bruce, and you have an extended 20-minute block of time to update and talk about where we're at.
So it's be extended. Extended for me, it's all about 30, 40, 50.
I'll be doing that 3.
Wow, that is too bad. Hi, I'm Bruce Bookout. For those people who don't know me, I have been for the last 7 years the director of the Rocky Mountain Star Share, the premier star party of the Rocky Mountains. We are very happy with our current status. We're looking really good. Registrations right now are a little low. Merchandise, people need to go back in there and buy more merchandise. That's also a good thing for us as we're going along. The last weekend's effort at getting the place built out was wonderful, and we even had Saturday night an opportunity to test the skies, and the skies were great. And 51 was phenomenal. We went to after 80 and 82 after that, and I think the one that kind of just made my breath for a little moment was looking at the sombrero and just going, just right across there. And that's just the base skies when we get to June. It's much more gorgeous. Please get into our website. You can access it from the main Colorado Springs Astronomical Society website or just rss.org. You'll notice the big red button. Go press the big red button. Push it multiple times. Go direct people that were coming to this also. Our set of, if you go to the event information, our schedule this year is very good. More specifically about all of our speakers, but our speaker profiles, if you would. I want to reiterate that we are adding quite a few in here. We've got Dr. John Spencer coming from Southwest Research Institute. He's bringing us new data on Cassini. Because like he did during the New Horizons, where, hey, I'm pulling the data off the spacecraft right now, and I'll be right down in a couple of hours before JPL is allowed to press release it. We should like possibly get to see some really awesome rain stuff. Because you got to remember, Cassini's doing the rain plunges right now as part of its orbit. We also got Dr. Roger Kennedy with the Charlie Bay Solar Astronomy Project. Talked about that before. His presentations and the stuff he brings down are fantastic for the solar astronomy. And since our theme this year is solar, mainly in conjunction with the solar eclipses coming out, we see him to be a very good one of our great talks that are going on. Bob Barlow is Bob Stubbs. That's all I need to say. If you do astronomy, you've had to change out bombs. Or you've gone, I'm not going to play in the dark with a trash. I want a knob that I can easily grab in the dark. Bob, solve your problems. So we'll have him there. We're going to be talking. Guess what he's going to be talking about? Culmination. How to use his knobs. I'm thinking. I love the themes on this entire stuff. We've also got Dr. David Strong coming in to do a talk on the Space Surveillance Telescope. Big issue, big item for the space surveillance community. Being an old GDOT person at one time, this is an important capability of opening up more surveillance, looking at more of these dim little objects we're trying to track orbit to make sure people, as in ISS and future manned missions, are not colliding with this kind of stuff. And we're also going to be introducing this year Eric White, who will be doing a talk on his research dealing with methane levels in the atmospheres of Uranus and Neptune. This is part of a new thing that we're doing in honor of our past president, Jim West. It's a youth lecture science series. And we've actually ordered a nice plaque that will be going up there. So we're also looking for further youth. So we've got a great speaker lineup, but it's not about the speakers. It's about all the other events up there. We go to the schedule. The event schedule is pretty straightforward. We kind of roll up. We've got daytime activities. We will have lots of vendors there. Who's this idiot Bruce spoke up? Okay. I'm doing a talk on the history of solar eclipses, the archaeoastronomy, the different cultures and how they viewed them. So I'll be adding in there with that stuff. But as you can see, one of the other aspects that's wonderful is Colorado Cafe. We'll be there doing your vending. We're no longer going to have to cater meals on Friday and Saturday. We will have the Boy Scouts there for the pancake breakfast. I talked to the scout leader 2 weeks ago. He is still psyched and will be bringing the egg scrambles that everyone loves that we go for. Let's go to events. I'm trying to remember the other one I want to see. Vendors. Big vendors showing up. Lumicon and Farpoint. Fundamentally, it's the same crew. With this one, they are very psyched up. They blew off the Texas Star Party to come to us. Which is why I want more people attending so that they feel the urge and need to come back to see us in the future. But they mean that their being there will draw more people to us. We're hoping to go see the wedding. Bob Stops, of course, will be there. Colorado Cafe will be doing their food menus. And we're also going to have a meteorite salesman there. He's out of Fort Collins every day, I believe. But Dustin has some. This gentleman goes out. If you follow his website, he goes on expeditions to Morocco, to Algeria, to these locations, and finds these things. He recently came back with a very large we're talking 100 gram Martian meteorite, a whole new class of meteorite. So he doesn't screw around. He's got a lot of good stuff there. He promised to get really, really great deals. And if you're interested in starting to build up a meteorite collection, this is one way. Another way, Steve has a few meteorites that he's trying to purge the collection a little bit on. And I'll tell you, once you get one, I want another one. I want another one. Ooh, what's this one? Things like that. So be careful with the meteorites. You can be addicted, but it's a fun science addiction. You get to get your rocks off. Sorry, I had to go on. I do have bumper stickers if anyone's interested. They're $1 each for the moment as we're doing stuff. If you're interested. Anything else I need to add? I'm trying to remember.
Just that with respect to Colorado Cafe, in addition to the breakfast, lunch, and evening dinner, that she's also providing I think it's like a 10:30 to 11 p.m. snack time.
Yes, that's going to be something you can eat that. When you're getting that chill or that little hungers, just walk over to her. She'll be red lighted.
And quiet generator.
Very quiet generator this year. I've actually heard the generator. She also goes out to the Air Force Academy games, and I got to see the generator in action. I was like, is that damn thing on? So, good idea for that.
That's where the lunchbox is on the website.
Ah, yes. If you go up to event information, merchandise. So there's our logo for this year. We've got, of course, the regular cottons, long sleeve cotton shirts, the tech shirts, the tech sports ones, which are really comfy. They're very, very comfy thing. We've got the zipper hooded this year with our regular RMSS logo. We don't put the annual one on there. There's the sport tech. And of course, let's see what else we have. We've got those in long sleeve. We have our hats as always. Oh man, the lunch boxes didn't get on there. Okay. I'm always looking for the toilet paper roll and the lunch boxes. The toilet paper will go really big out there sometimes. So as you can tell, I get a little excited about this. As we talked about before, this is my last year. I've done this for 7 years. We are seeking, if anyone is interested in stepping up and helping out, and let's get this going for next year. I'm not disappearing. I'll be there to be a help, but I do want to step down from the limelight. You tell I just don't like sitting there yakking and talking in front of people. Any questions?
I was going to say that if you want to maybe also just mention about the daytime activities, the kids' activities that Dave is conducting, the photo contest that Bob is running.
Yeah, we have the ATM walkabout, which Bob basically focuses on. Bob is the one running our photo contest. We made a few alterations, opened it up a little bit this year. It's going to be really, really nice to look at. Which is a photo from last year. It's just updated properly. The cameras, okay. So we're going to have those certificates for, as we always do. This is always the fun one, especially on Saturday, to catch up to where everyone's been seeing it. All the stuff like you photographed that year, I'm always amazed by it. We have a walkabout, and the kids' activities themselves are phenomenal.
Door prizes and raffle.
Door prizes, we've gotten quite a few in from some of our different vendors. We're hoping for some more to be coming in. They always like to roll in the last couple of weeks that are going on. Our current door prizes, I believe, is the tripod set for a pair of binoculars. And I was running the raffles. I can't remember the raffle. That's a raffle item. Sorry, that's one of our raffle. But I thought there was we have an opportunity. We have a problem with the PST still. So the price we got from OPT, I am not happy with. They said, "Oh, that's a great deal." That's a great deal. So I kind of made a great deal at that. That's not.
I think suffice to say that we'll have raffle prizes and a goblet of door prizes as part of this, along with the kids' activities, photo contest, the 18 walkabout. So not only pristine, beautiful during the evening, tons of things to do during the day.
And we've loosened the schedule this year a little bit to give you the ability to go, you know what? I want to go over to the Great Sand Hills. I want to go up and see the wolf sanctuary. I want to be able to see some of the local area. Because this county, this area is beautifully just its nature. It's just absolutely wonderful out there. Oh, yes. This year we have added a Sky Safari. If any of you have Sky Safari app on your phone, Matt has coordinated very well to get a challenge list along with a regular observing list that we recommend for it. You can download those links from our website, or as I also discovered, you go into the app, into its set of downloadables, which include all the astronomically observing things that you want to do. Many of my lists are on there, but RSS is now on there, officially recognized by the folks who developed that app. So we're the only star party I know of that does that through that app. So that's a brand new unique thing. Well, Texas does? Okay. Let's go with the uniqueness.
4-minute time tax.
Okay. Yes.
I have two questions. The purchase of the merchandise, you purchase that over the internet and then you pick it up when you get to the store?
Yes. You do it as part of your registration. We'll have a packet ready for you.
Okay, second thing, I'm bringing a trailer to the star party. What are the logistics of actually coming down or checking in, setting up and stuff like that? What does that
Go back to the front screen. Home screen. Yeah. When you get on site and you, as a club member, you show up anytime you want to. If you're not a club member, yeah, we're kind of restricted to our date until the 21st to the 25th. You show up when you want to. Registration is at this building on this side of the building. So what I suggest to most people, especially if you've never been there first, drive up to this area, park off to the side, walk up, check in at the registration booth, and you'll pick up your packet. Your packet will contain your badge, it will contain other information that's needed, and any of the merchandise that you ordered online.
Also inside is a kind of map of the Spring Meadows that will show the different places where people camp and set up their campers.
And we typically, as you see, a lot of the RVs will set up when they have a perimeter area. Certain camps will set up at various locations. You've got a regular tent. I suggest you set up in the tree area because winds can get a little high sometimes in the late afternoon. But you can see where everyone is, especially if you're showing up over there, you get a good sense of that. Of course, we ask that you show good common sense on where you set up your tent. Don't set it up next to someone else. Don't set your trailer hitch right on someone else's trailer hitch. That kind of polite things.
So can I go down to 20th?
Yes. In fact, I'm going to be down there that Monday morning. Well, yeah, the director, I got to be there real early because I've got a lot of stuff to get taken care of. Oh, and one of the things that's going to be in your goodie bag as part of the packet, these lighted pens. So if you pay register, you'll get this. Oh, and there's one other thing that I'm not going to tell you about. You'll find out when you get your registration packet. Yes.
Oh, I was going to ask, I noticed on the website talk about the scouts breakfast and stuff.
Yes.
But can you present there?
Yes. I'll have a certain number of open slots that if you want to make up your decision then, when you come to register, pick up your check-in packet, that you can add to those to that breakfast. But the more we get out ahead of time, the better it is so that they plan logistically to bring enough food. So that's the reason we really request you do that early.
So how's the horse park situation on Gardner Road?
Great. It's wonderful.
Good.
Yeah, it's a lot of close.
Okay.
No, it's actually, we drove through there in some, I call it wet conditions. It was fine and dry. I can tell it's not going to be very washboardy at all. So, yeah, the roads were, I call it, they were in excellent condition. Several of our folks are already hauling RVs in there. Other question?
Well, I should say, if they've already purchased their, or registered, they can always go back and buy merchandise before they get there too.
Yes.
They can just log in with a code that they will get.
Yes, and please do that because we're going to have a very limited amount of merchandise available on site that we're going to overbuy a little bit. If we get a we get everything printed at once, we're good to go.
Bruce, Tom has a comment to add about that.
Yeah, so if you've already registered, basically what you did was you made a point of sale. You bought something on the website. You want to go back and add another person, another name on there, another register another person. add a hat to your order, do something like that, you create a new registration is what you do. Basically, you go in and you create another sale.
And so, and you won't see the information that you provided on the prior registration. It'll be a blank registration.
Yeah, you basically, however, it will ask you if you've registered before. You say yes, then it'll tell you to put in what is the registration number of previous registration you did, just so that you can cross-reference. We can cross-reference that particular transaction.
And if you have any kind of questions that are outside of this forum, and you go, oh man, I forgot to ask that, director@rmss.org. That's my email. Hal and I are monitoring that all the time. I've been answering a lot of interesting questions. One gentleman from Indiana was asking some questions that I really couldn't fathom where he was coming from. Profile angles for every road driving in. Okay. Well, big rig, or he has no clue how to drive up a hill. Yeah, questions, you can tackle me afterwards. Let me cut off.
So, Jim.
Okay. Hi there.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim. It's Jim, everybody.
It's Jim. So, how many people in here are signed up to go to the solar eclipse in Glendo? Because we have about 135 people total that are going to be going. We have about 30 people in campers, and then probably another 25 to 30 in tents. We have a pretty nice area. If you would kind of go through a couple of these slides, just next slide, please. Okay, so we'll back up one picture. Go back to the picture there, slide 2. So that's Glendo State Park. So what I would offer to you guys, if you're going to be there for a couple of days, you can get a Wyoming fishing pass if you would like to. They stock the heck out of that place. It is gorgeous up there, and you can get they sell 3-day and 10. Now you'll have to get it before you get up there. So go to the Wyoming Fish and Wildlife website. You can actually order this stuff right online. But there's some great recreation opportunities while you're there. There's some tremendous mountain biking trails in the area. A lot of places to hike. If you have a canoe or some boat or something that you want to bring, you absolutely, because we're going to be right next to the lake. Next slide, please. So basically, this is Glendo State Park. This is I-25. What you're going to do is you're going to go north to past Cheyenne. It's about the speed limit is I think 80. Is that what it was, Tom?
Something like that.
80, 85. I think you can go 100 and nobody will notice, but it's pretty wide open highway up through here. I want to point out something because I'm going to mention this in a little bit. This is the town of Wheatland. That's a very important thing if you're in a camper, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But the town of Glendo is right here next to Glendo State Park. Go ahead and hit the next. And you can see we're right in the center of the path of totality there. Next slide. So this is a Google map of the state park area. Now it's actually, the lake is owned by the Bureau of Reclamation. It is not built as it's actually a man-made lake, and it's dammed up to provide hydropower to the Wapa and some other places through the Bureau of Reclamation. So the state, though, owns a lot of the land bordering the water. If you have ever been there before, when you get to the town of Glendo, this is something, and I'm going to have some of you, I probably remember the email I sent with some directions on it a while back. When you get up here to the town of Glendo, you're going to just turn east into the town, and the sign is going to say Glendo State Park, turn right. Don't turn right, because the main part of the park is down here. This is where all the established campsites are. We're not there. Where we are is we're actually, this is not right. We're actually right over in this area here. And next slide. This is just some data on the thing. This is on our website if you want to look at it. Go ahead, next. This is actually a picture of where we're going to be camping. And we've got a couple hundred yards of
land over here. Tom and I made a trip up there. When did we go back in? About a month and a half ago, we went up there. As you notice, see these trees, these pictures are from last year. My son and I went up there in May, and you can see that these trees are in the water. That's because the water levels were kind of high last year, and they were high this year when we went up there. They were very concerned that this may get flooded at some point. But he has talked to the Bureau of Reclamation, and they have done all their projections on water usage and what they're going to be needing. And it hasn't been real rainy this year. So I got an email from him Monday, I think it was, and he said, we're good to go. You guys are going to be golden up there. He said that we have absolutely no concerns that this is going to be wet. And the big concern was not so much that we'd be underwater, it's that the water would recede, but it'd be very muddy and it'd be hard to get campers in there. He said, not a problem. They've actually been mowing this to keep the sagebrush down, so it should be very nice conditions when we get up there. I'm going to try to get up there early. There's like a little road. It's not in this picture, but there's like a little 2-track that you'll come off of this main road, and you'll drive back. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have everybody drive to the back, turn this way. Campers are going to come forward. We're going to try to line folks up, give you about 15 feet in between campers. And the campers are going to be maybe about 50 yards up from the lake. And then we're going to try to let people with tents camp back here along the trees. But as you can see, we've got direct access to the lake right there. So it'll either be really nice or really buggy. So we'll see. So a couple of things that I wanted to be letting you guys know about. There was some, initially when we had planned this, the park superintendent planned on us being their guests up there. But the state of Wyoming said there's no vehicle going to be in there unless it's a state vehicle that doesn't have registration, park registration. So there was a little bit of a fear that they might charge us the standard rate because they got a special rate for that weekend, $240 for 4 nights camping. He said there's no way he wanted us to do that, and he worked it out. He said they do have to charge us the standard non-resident daily camping rate of $17 a person. Now that's for any vehicle that you can drive. So if you're taking 2 vehicles, you need 2 passes. Okay. This week,
Not use them per person. It's per vehicle.
Per vehicle, I'm sorry.
$17
Per vehicle, right. So if you're pulling a trailer, you can't, you don't have to get a pass for that. It's just a tow vehicle. If you have an RV that you drive, it does have to have a pass on it. And if you're towing a vehicle behind your RV, you'll need to get a pass for that as well. So he said any vehicle that you can drive, that you have to have. He said, you kind of fought that battle and lost, and we just have to do it. So they were at least able to accommodate us at the local level. Right, and it was actually the state legislature that made that determination. It was out of their control.
Do we have to pay in advance, or do we pay when we get?
Well, you should ask that question because that's the next thing I was going to say. This week, if you are on my mailing list and you're on the list of people attending, hopefully you've seen a couple emails from me. If you haven't, check your junk mail and put me on the unblocked sender list. This week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email out about how to get your passes.
You haven't said that.
I have not. I'm going to hopefully I'll do that probably Thursday, and if I don't get to it this weekend, I'll do it Monday. But I'm going to be gone for the weekend. But so by at least Monday or Tuesday, you should see an email from me that has directions. What you need to do is I'll tell you specifically what to include. You need to send a check to the state of Wyoming and tell them how many days you're going to be there, which days, how many nights you're going to need it. And for those of you that are staying in Wheatland or Casper or whatever, if you're planning on coming in, you can get the $6 a night pass rate, and you can go ahead and get that now. If you fail to do that, you can still get it when you get up there. Okay, so it's not critical that you get it. My advice is send the check, get your pass, make sure you have it ahead of time because they're going to be busy. They're going to be real busy. So, and they're anticipating a fairly good sized crowd. The good news is, if you go to the next slide, this picture is across the road from us. Their original plan was, and my intent here was to show you what the southern sky looks like from where we're going to be. But yeah, it's not going to be cloudy though the day of the eclipse. But my intent was there's no trees over there, so nighttime observing should be phenomenal for a couple of days around it on either side. But originally their plan was for guests coming in, either coming to our star party on Saturday and Sunday night, or those coming in for the eclipse. They were planning to use this for parking for guests, so that would be very busy over there. The Bureau of Reclamation said you're not parking any vehicles over there. They closed that off. They said there would be no parking. They can only park on the lakeside, which is good because they didn't shrink our area that they were planning. They just said they're going to park people further away, so we shouldn't get a ton of traffic around where we're going to be camping, where our telescopes are going to be set up. So next slide. And that's just another picture across the road that's looking east. I don't know why I took the picture pointing east, but next slide. Yes, sir.
So how far away are people going to have to park if they want to come to?
So those of us that are going to be with us will be able to park right in our area.
Right, but I'm talking about other people who are going to send to a star party.
Yes, it's going to be probably at the edge of where we're going to be. They're going to be just beyond that. Okay. And so people have to walk 100 yards, 200 yards, depending on where they choose to park, but it should be super busy. I want to adjust one thing here. This should say Thursday, not Wednesday. So don't show up on Wednesday. And I think I got feedback from everybody that's on the list what your arrival and departure times are, and we're going to try to park you accordingly. So that way, if you're trying to get out of there, you have ease of access to the road. And likewise, with people coming in a little bit later, we're going to try to accommodate that as well. Saturday night, there's going to be a star party, and it's open up to the state park campers, people there in the area. Sunday, we're going to do a presentation, and we're going to do that right in our area. And I think, Bruce, we talked a little bit about you had some stuff to present. I think Al was going to do Dave as well, so we can kind of tag team something. It's just basically to give some information and some background to the folks that are there. And then we're going to we're doing another star party, and it's open to the local communities as well. On Monday, we have nothing scheduled, so the observing, we're going to be able to just observe from our site, and we shouldn't have a whole lot of people around. You don't want to look through scopes while you're trying to photograph stuff, whatever. So we have nothing formal scheduled. And then probably Monday afternoon or Tuesday is when most people are planning to leave. So just a couple other things. When you get up there, they said there's a few rules. Firearms. It's okay to have a firearm. It's not okay to shoot a firearm. So please don't plan on shooting in the park. And I assured them that our folks are very calm, and there will be no discharge of firearms in the area. Alcohol and beverages. So the state park rules are you are allowed to have alcoholic beverages. They ask you to drink them. But they do ask that if you drink them, they be in a cup or something. So they don't want beer bottles or whiskey bottles or anything like that. So they should just pour your drink into a glass and you're in business. The other thing they said is you can't have an alcohol container that exceeds, you say 2 gallons? Okay. They your side. That's right. So they were very particular about that. Dogs, if you plan on bringing a dog with you, they said, please keep your dog on a leash, or chain it up somehow, or have a little fenced-in area or something for it, because they really, with the numbers of people, they don't want dogs just running loose up there, because again, sometimes you get people that have some crazy dogs, big, mean, crazy dogs. So they asked us to please pay particular attention to that. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot. Did I miss anything?
You would like us to clean up the area?
Yes, that's the other thing. Back it up, just like we do at RMSS. Please bring trash bags. Do not leave crap laying around. So whatever we bring in, we're going to take out with us. Okay, so we don't want them to clean up after us. That way, if we ever want to do anything else with the park in Wyoming again, we'll have a good reputation. Yes, sir.
Three real quick questions. Sanitary facilities, which ones are working on?
So what they're doing is they're going to bring some porta potties in, and they're going to set up several of them kind of around the perimeter of where we're going to be. That way, it gives their guests coming over, as well as the folks camping there will have a place. If you go down the road about a quarter mile, there's actually kind of a primitive campground down there, but they do have a water pump. So if you need to get water, fill up a water jug, you can do it down there. I think they have a pit toilet down there. There are no shower facilities there. So, what we want to try to do is, we asked about that is we're going to do it kind of like Rocky Mountain Star Share. If you can't shut it off, when somebody says, hey, you need to shut that off, then don't bring it. But propane, Coleman gas, like gas stoves, that's fine. I have a little not grill, a weather grill that runs off propane. I'm going to bring that. That's perfectly fine. I would say if you have charcoal that you have to burn, don't bring that. Same thing as at RMSS. You don't want anything that if it's dry, you don't want to start a grass fire there.
You might also want to mention about gasoline lights.
Yes, that was my Wheatland comment. Here's their big fear. Two things. They said with the number of people that are going to be not just in the park, but going up to Casper, and that they're concerned about gasoline availability. So there is a gas station, Sinclair gas station right there in the town of Glendale. My advice is fill your gas tank when you get there. If you're getting there on Thursday, if you're coming later, fill it up in Wheatland, because they can't predict. I mean, they only have so much capacity in those tanks, and once they're empty, they're empty. So just, again, it's not dire, but just make sure you have a full load of gas, because especially if you're leaving Monday, there could be traffic on the interstate, because there's a lot of people from up in Casper and all over the place that are going to be on that interstate. So if you're leaving, it makes it very slow going. So, and everybody's going to be needing gas at some point. So
You can only have the prices.
I'm sure they're going to be astronomical.
Are there any food trucks? Are there any catering food? Anything to say we need to go at?
There is none of that. In the town of Glendale, there is, I think, three saloons, a restaurant, and a bookstore place.
Okay.
And a gas station. So bring food. The other thing I want to make sure I'm very clear about is this is not a concern of ice. You need to plan ahead, because if you're going to be there Thursday, it's August in Wyoming, it's hot during the day. So if you have a cooler and it's sitting out in the sunshine all day, the ice is going to melt, and you're going to have food that goes bad. So you just plan accordingly, because there is nowhere by ice there other than the town of Orlando, and there's only so much ice.
do allow swimming in the lake. And if you're careful with it, have a biodegradable soap. A little bit of personal maintenance that way. However, the swim shoes are not an option. They have to be worn.
Yeah, please. Please. We don't want to see anything that we'll have to gouge our eyes out. Make sure,
Just because you observe different bodies doesn't mean you are one.
That's right. Yes, they're estimating about 38,000 people. Now, it's a big park. Okay, so they said typically on a like 4th of July weekend, 4th of July weekend, Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, they get upwards of 20,000 people in that park. They're opening additional areas for camping, plus like us and some other folks that are going to be there. Plus, there's additional law enforcement people are going to be up there, rangers, things like that. So they're estimating about 38,000 people, including the folks coming in for the day. So it's going to be a very busy place. But the good news is most of them are going to be down on the other end of the lake, and on the east side and the south part of the lake is where most people are going to go because the signs point you that way. And so we'll be out of the craziness.
Yeah, for those who are not camping or RVing there but coming in, is there going to be enough room around everybody else? For those
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do, I told you we're going to have the campers about 50 yards up from the lake. We're going to have another 50 yards in front of us. That's what we're going to set up with telescopes. So that way we have, they're not set up far away from where people are at. So we're going to, there'll be people around all the time. And I'm sure a lot of us will get outside. So there will be plenty of room for parking, and we'll make sure that we have some folks designated.
Will they let us pay it like this?
You know what? Probably. So what I would do is when we get up there, when we send in your registration, I would put on there, put enough money in there for Wednesday, for Tuesday night, you say you're planning on leaving Wednesday, see if they say you pass. Yeah, I do. It's actually on that one chart. I think it's like a 10, 20 is first contact. I'm just kind of going off from memory here, but I think, and then about, I think it's about a 2-hour period from first contact to. So yeah, that sounds about right. I think it's like 10:19 actually. It's the very first contact. But it's on the slide deck. The slide deck, if you go to the website to the member section, member downloads, look for eclipse planning. And this is actually the slide deck from last year. I have a more current one that you can update it or something. Any other questions? All right, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be busy. Please plan accordingly. Make sure you have enough food, ice, and gasoline. And after Tuesday, you're on your own. So,
By the way, just one question. I went to the Glendale State Park website and under reservations, and they say that special advance reservations for the August 2017 eclipse are now sold out.
do not go to the website to order your passes. Do what I'm going to send you tonight. Follow the directions specifically that I'm going to send you, and you will get your passes.
Don't do what I just did. Follow his instructions.
Serve as an example of what not to do.
That's right.
Like the reason like the reason why Tom had to talk about if you have to for an RMSS registration, if you have to add something, because I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, okay, so hopefully the time that we took to talk about RMSS and the time that we took about the Glendale State Park solar eclipse was beneficial. You know who the principal, the key people are, director at rmss.org. If you have questions, that'll be Bruce. And then vice president at csas.com. If you have questions, about the solar.
Or-
I'm sorry. Thank you. VP or Vice President at csastro.org. Very good. Thank you very much. All right. So that concludes the this month's meeting. We will not have a meeting in June because we have RMSS next month. So look forward to seeing you back at our next meeting in July. So with that,
Those other,
Card and attendance sheet, please.
the.
card and attendance.
You wanna hit that?
Just so everyone knows ahead of time, we are scheduling or have scheduled up a talk at Garden of the Gods. It's in conjunction with these star parties we're doing. But I'm doing a talk in July 24th. It'll be up on the forums very soon and the calendar on the ancient, both eclipse viewing and some of the ancient stuff. It's could be a combined one for Garden of the Gods. So you're going to see a lot of themes popping up where myself and Dave will be going out and doing a lot of talks on safe viewing of solar eclipses, and I'll be adding in the archaeoastronomy side of ancient cultures and all that.
So thank you very much, and thank you everyone for attending. Thank you for our presenters. Thank you, Stephen, for running the meeting. And if you have time to help put away chairs and tables, we appreciate it. Meeting adjourned.
Nice meeting you, Brian.